Good morning, afternoon, and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to a Throwback Friday and number 19. Right, so today I've got a couple of videos for you, and thankfully it's not as long as last week's. So our first one up is a Whips, Bits and Chat volume 16, and now this was from August the 11th last year, so that was August the 11th 2020. I hope you enjoy. I may cut out some sections of these videos, so if you want to see the full video in all its glory without my cutting out, they will be listed up above here in the little information, and also down in the drop down menu. And the reason I put them down there is so that when I do next week's, I can look at this week's and see how far I've got in the videos, because it's getting confusing. Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. Today we have got Liam. Hello Liam. High five. Liam. Oh, you're going down. There we go. So he might be chomping in the corner. He might be making a bit of noise, but every now and then he likes to come and say hello. Right, so let's get on. What have I been up to this week? As you may have noticed, since the beginning of August, I've been a bit more involved in making more videos for you. And although at the moment everybody seems to be doing the old blogger day, I know I'm not capable of keeping up with that. And I will run out of things to say. So this way I'm aiming to put up a video every other day. There may be a slip, it may be one in every 3, but ideally I'm aiming for the one every other day. So keep an eye on your days that are outnumbered, because hey, I'm crazy and I'm odd, so I thought, why not shove the videos on odd days. And the last video up before this one was my 6-month on YouTube a birthday surprise video. If you haven't seen it, get over there and watch it when you finish watching this one, because it's not just a surprise for me. Nudge nudge, wink wink, you know what I mean. Right, so at the moment it stands that I have got another, not including this one, but another 4 videos winging my way to you over the next 8 days. I'm not going to tell you what they are, because although they're already uploaded, they may get pushed back in order of when they're released. Of course, if I come across some interesting breaking news, that video is going to jump in before all of them. But the wall winding one is in that list, but it's at the bottom, because as far as I see it, it's not breaking news, and it may not be interesting to all of you. So I'm trying to make it as fair as possible when I'm putting them out. So you've got that one. Oh, and by the way, I haven't bothered recording the Centro one yet, so you never know, they may end up being back to back. Right, so also over these last couple of weeks, because I've done a mass batch of filming, you will notice that some of the clothing in my videos is exactly the same. It's not because I'm a stinky toe rag who doesn't wash. It is literally because they were filmed the same day. I think one day I managed to do 4 in one day, which I was properly shocked about, because normally it's 1. Just 1, because of the amount of editing, just the 1. But because of that meant then that I got to sort of have my birthday away from YouTube quite a bit, and I got to spend more time with family. And then a couple of days later, I actually have finally cleaned and tidied the dining room. I've moved, like, all of my husband's stuff has been moved out into his new unit, and I got in there and I've completely dusted the whole area. It's been cleaned military style, top to bottom. It's been done as if I'm on a march out, which I haven't done one of them for quite a while. So it was a gleaming, and the only thing left to do was clean the carpets and let the room dry in air. So earlier on in the week we had a mega hot day. We're talking 30 degrees. So I'm like, right, today's the day. I'm washing that carpet. It's going to dry within an hour. So I get in there, move everything out. Carpet gets completely cleaned, and I'm standing there looking at it, and it's lovely, and the whole room looks lovely. And I'm thinking, I only need to put in put like dining table and chairs back in, and it's all going to smell lovely. There's not going to be any manly smells. It's going to be all girly again. And I close the door and I'm all chuffed. Windows are open, the whole thing's airing. I go in, and because there wasn't a lot of wind, the room still was a bit damp. So I've locked it up for the night. Next morning I've gone in, opened the windows again for it to dry. Now, I've got pets. You know I've got pets. You know I love pets. You know I don't mind pets. I love my neighbours' pets. I think they're all really, really cute. But what I don't love is that one of them hasn't been spayed. And he has come in and he has sprayed all around the flipping room and left me a nice urine deposit in a corner. So now my beautiful room stinks of ammonia. So once I finish recording this, I'm back down I go to treat the areas and redo it, and fingers crossed that little tow rag doesn't jump back in again. I think I might actually put Pip in there and she can be on watch. She'll tell him off. Now I'm thinking for an upcoming video, I would like, thanks mate, I'm hoping to make a video that's something along the lines of how crazy is this crazy. Basically for you guys to get to know me a bit better, and maybe me get to know you a bit better. So I was wondering, if you pop a comment down below in a little bit, would you be up for sticking a question in? So is there something you want to know about me that I haven't let slip yet? Please be advised, some questions, if they're a bit too personal or a bit too cheeky, then they may get left out. But sort of just generalised questions would be absolutely lovely, or some really random craziness. That would be lovely as well. So pop your comment down below. Right, so an update on videos. Yes, I do still batch make, thankfully, because it's helped me out quite a bit over the last year. Gives me more of a chance, doesn't it, to then create items to be able to show you, rather than sitting here editing 5 days out of 7. Right, so because of that, I can now tell you that on Tuesdays I try to get out a pattern to you. This doesn't always happen, and sometimes it is a cow that will be released on a Tuesday, and each part will be released on the Tuesdays. And now I'm going back to my lives. So lives are also on Tuesdays, but they are Tuesday evening, normally at 7 o'clock GMT. And then I leave a Wednesday free for you to be able to play catch up if you're unable to make the live. Then on Thursday, at this moment in time, I am doing book reviews, because heck, I've got lots. And then on Friday, of course, we have our Throwback Fridays, which is what you're watching at the moment. And then on a Sunday, it's our Whips and Bits video. And now at any point during the week, you may end up still getting a breaking news. They come out whenever I find something really interesting to tell you, which is normally sales. And keep watching, because I'm going to bung in the how crazy is this crazy in a few minutes. But the next video up in this collection this week is the 6 months on YouTube, a birthday surprises my crazies. I thought, why not add this one in, save you searching for it, as I've mentioned it in the previous part of the video. So today I thought I would pop on and do a little bit of a celebration with you. Now, my channel has been going 6 months today, and it has grown really, really lovely, and all you crazies are absolutely brilliant. Quite a few of you like to comment on the videos that are coming in, and I love your comments. I absolutely love them. So I decided, as a bit of a little celebration, because I hadn't done any draws for any of my milestones really up to this point, I've decided I'm going to do a bit of a cheeky draw. So this draw is going to be me using my spinning wheel, and I'm going to spin it, let me think, 6 times for 6 separate winners. Now, how I'm going to work out the winner, it's going to be based off of the comments on certain videos. So the wheel is going to be the spin to choose which video I'm using, and it will be 1 to 10 for each spin, and then I'll work out the video going up in order of when I posted them. And then I will run the comments through the random comment picker to then choose your names. So I'm going to swap cameras so you can watch what I'm doing, and I'll see you in a bit. So there we go, we have got our 6 winners. Congratulations, you 6. If you could all email me, my email information will be in the drop down menu below. If you can email me ideally within the week please, so that I can sort out your prizes and ship them out to you next week. I'll plan to go down at the same time and post them all at the same time, so the quicker you all get in and respond, the quicker I can get them out to you. Right, I have absolutely loved this draw, and I can't wait to see the winners' reactions. Right, so family disturbed filming of this one, and so this is another day, another outfit. Right, so as I stated in the bottom of that, it was a repeat. All prizes were claimed. Actually, all prizes were sent out. That one, I was testing the boundaries of a postage to find out what countries were going to cost me the most. Yeah, details on a postcard down below. No, there is a later video where I explain that. It will come up at some point. So now it's time to watch that How Crazy Is This Crazy video. I'd like to welcome you all to the very first episode of How Crazy Is This Crazy. This video is going to be filled with answers to your questions, basically. On Whips and Bits number 16, I did ask if you had any questions for me that you would like to be included or that you'd like to know the answers to. So very first question in was from King Bamford, and her question was, do I have a large stash that's hidden all around my house? Or do I have a small stash that I can keep in one place? Or do I buy yarn for just the one project in mind? I've got a small one. When I first started out, I would literally just buy the yarn for the project I had in mind, because I didn't know how crazy I would get into crochet and whether I would still be enjoying it after the first, second or third project. So I had gone out and bought some little stackable boxes, and I had one of those stackable boxes that had the yarn in that I was using and that I'd bought. So I'm going to pop a picture in, and that was my first yarn stash. So then of course, as I got more involved, I was really lucky because Aldi had a yarn event, so I went in and I only bought a few balls. I didn't go completely mad, not like I do now, but I bought a bit, and it was mainly whites and like whites so that I could make a job load of snowmen. So of course at this point my stash started growing slowly. Then I went on to Facebook's marketplace and came across a lady who was selling some yarn, and she was selling bundles of brands that I really didn't know anything about, because back then I knew nothing, absolutely nothing. I was working on my 3.5mm hook that I now use solely for my poppies. I only had one hook, and so I messaged her and I went and picked up the agreed amount. Now, me and her had been talking over Messenger, so when I got there she invited me in for a cuppa, and we were sitting there chatting. Then she invited me upstairs to see her yarn room, so off I've gone to have a look, because of course, super nosy me. We've gone upstairs, and oh my, this room was a dream and a curse all in one go. It was a dream because it had floor to ceiling cubed storage. Now they're the ones from IKEA, I think they're called Bully or Billy or something, but the massive cubes, and in each of those cubes she could get 30 100-gram balls of yarn. 30. And looking at it now, I'm sitting here doing the count, and the count, if I remember rightly, was something it was at least five cubes high and 7 cubes wide on each side of the room. And then she, of course, she had like a hanging rail which had all of the stuff that she'd made, absolutely beautiful pieces of clothing. And then she had her delivery boxes, because she'd run out of room, and they were stacked a bit like sometimes Crystal at Bag a Day shows us the corner of her room where there's like a mass stack of boxes. Well, this lady's room was stacked like that, and she had stuff not everywhere. It was all organised. She knew exactly where every bit of wool was, but there was just so much of it. It was like, instead of saying you take a kid to a candy shop, it was like me stepping into a Hershey's factory and being told I could eat and touch and do whatever I wanted with all of the chocolate. It was just immense. So, and she's there, and she was saying how she was slowly sorting through all her yarn, so she was going to be putting more up because she wanted to reduce the amount that she had, because she was never going to get through it all, and she'd had to put herself on a forced ban for at least a year. And I sort of looked at her with a big fat grin, went, I can come and help you sort that if you want. I like sorting, I do. And she looked at me and she looked at the room and she's like, are you really sure? It's a big ask. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And she's like, well, why would you want to? And I said, well, the amount of different brands you've got here and thicknesses and everything. I said, as we're working, I can ask you questions about hook sizes and everything else. And it also meant that I could get my hands on all that squidgy yarn. And then I would know straight off, basically, if I like the feel of a certain brand or not, then I could put that to one side, write it down and say, I'm never buying that. I'm not wasting my money on it. And so, bless her, she was like, okay then, we'll give it a go. We'll arrange a day where we're both free for a couple of hours, and we'll have a go at it. And we're both looking at the room as she's saying a couple of hours, and we're like, it's going to take more than that, isn't it? Well, anyway, I popped back a couple of times to give her a hand, and we did actually manage to sort it all out. And she then turned around and told me that she thought I might be a bit OCD because I was putting every brand, like all the brands in line, and all the colours in sort of rainbow order, and it looked a lot neater than what I have behind me. But by doing that and by helping her out, she also helped me to learn the different textures and the different weights of the yarns, so it's helped me out immensely. And I also got to feel different cottons, merino, and that's when I also found out that I was allergic to wool. Right, so I think that's really the only yarn that I haven't got round to showing you, because I basically bought quite a bit from her in the end. I got a massive box load and a bin bag, and I managed to squidge it in my car and get it home. I just didn't manage to sneak it through the door. But at this point I had learned how to hide yarn from my husband. It's called put it under the mattress of the bed, because we've got one of them lift up beds, so that was sort of filling up really nicely. And at that point as well, this room hadn't been sorted, so it didn't have any yarn anywhere, so he hadn't noticed until I walked in with that big box and bin bag. So the rest of my stash, you guys can all get to have a nose through if you pop on to the old stash videos. Right, the next question up is from Cynthia May, and she asked, what hidden talents do I have? Like singing? No. Playing piano? No, I can't get my head around musical instruments or anything like that. How long have I been crocheting now? I had to look back on this one. I started crocheting around September, October 2018. Now I know that's not been a mega amount of time, but I have got an earlier video which I'll try and remember to put a link to, that actually shows you some of the projects that I'd done over say 2018-19 and onwards. So it shows you the sort of things that I was making right from the start onwards. I'm sort of a little bit arty, as in if I've got a paint by numbers or something with really clear instructions and lines to do and to work between, then normally I'm pretty okay, which is where I think I'm so thankful that I came across YouTube right at the beginning to sort of give me a bit of a kick from some of the girls when it came to making some of the products. Right, next one up is from my Michelle Tui. Sorry, I've probably said your name wrong again, haven't I? Right, but her question was, what's my favourite yarn and a yarn colour? And then a little bit about Liam. I'm still exploring my favourite yarns. At the moment, the way I see it is, and the yarn I like the most is normally the one I'm working with, especially if it's nice and soft and cheap. And as for yarn colours, my favourite colour is normally a green, because it sort of reminds me of grass and sort of walking in grass barefoot and things like that. But I've noticed as I'm getting more and more yarns in, different days are different colour combinations. One day I will like extremely bright crazy, and the next day it's just calm and cool colours, and then another day it's something else, and it really is individual to the cake and the item normally that I'm making at that point. If I start making something and I don't like the colour, then I stop, rip it back and pick something else. Right, and the next question up is from Karen Collins, and she asks, what's my favourite weight of yarn that I like to work with, and what's my favourite hook? Right, so as I've stated on a few videos, my favourite hook is normally my 4mm. A favourite weight, I'm still playing, so I think I really like the smaller yarn, the thinner yarns for shawls, because it makes them more floaty, and definitely an Aran weight yarn for Aragurumi, because then you get a bigger thing. Right, next one up is from Julie Hannaford. She'd like to know, if I'm not crocheting, what do I like to do as a family other than holidaying? Right, where to start? My kids are a lot older than most, so they actually enjoy amusement parks, sort of the Disney and the equivalent over here. So we normally go to those because my youngest is a mega daredevil. So her and her dad go on pretty much every ride. Now my eldest is off at uni now, so she doesn't get to join in on as many family adventures. But normally if we go somewhere like that, then the husband and youngest go off and hit all the rides, and I mean all the rides, and I'm the bag lady because I can't go on many of them because I've got a dodgy back. So I normally end up finding the little arcadey place or the arcade place I should say, and hit the 2p penny machines, or else sit and read whilst eating far too many donuts. And and now I crochet instead, so it's just a case of, oh, I made this while I was at so and so place. And then the favourite thing to do with the eldest and the youngest is normally Comic-Con. We're a bit geeky like that. We like to do the older dressing up as the favourite character at the time, and then going off and exploring and buying lots and lots of rubbish. Okay, now Marbelle is hooked. I'm sorry if I've got your name wrong there, darling. You asked, do I have any siblings? Yes, I've got one of each. I've got a brother and a sister, both younger than me. And do they live anywhere near? No, which is a shame. They live in the southeast of the UK and I live in the southwest now. The majority of my family still all live in the southeast. My next one up is Karen Allen. She's wondering what kind of books do I like to read. I'm a bit of a sci-fi nut, so it's either sci-fi or vampire or werewolf or fantasy, really. They're my two mains. I don't like reading anything that's true life, because I would get too involved with the character, and no, I just can't do it. Okay, so I'm going to have to revisit some of the answers in regards to Julie Bamford and was my stash a large stash, small stash, medium stash, whatever stash. It has gone from what you could see on the screen in that video to a large one. I got addicted to mystery boxes. And in regards to the other Angela's room, mine's not there yet, but I am catching up, honey. I'm catching up. And here is a couple of photos of what I brought back from Angela's. So just a little bit, honestly. No, it was a massive bin bag and a massive box. And now some of those yarns are in this cube, are down here. Now there is only one of each showing. The rest are in a box underneath. Oh, and there's also, oh, I've lost it. Where did I put it? Some of her yarns behind here as well. This big one is one I got from her. Right, that is it for me for today. I will see you all really soon. So remember, please stay in, definitely stay safe, and ta-ra for now, everybody.